Politics, I would say, first of all, my aunt was involved in politics. During 85, was it 85? Yes. We came here at Joburg, Antwam. Oh, by the way, I must put it on record that S01E5 is a distant relative of ours. Umntwana wakhe, who was killed eLesotho through bombing. Before that happened, she was here with my mother. They relate too much. So from that, I think that's how my sister got involved in politics, because we had this extended relative with the relationship with the S01E5. And so says up Gauteng no Antwam nontombi mini. Little did I know, because I was young, now Vino and Zobo, Nabazali and my brothers and sisters, because some of my family members grew up here. In fact, not here, but in Venda, but during school holidays and everything, they would come here. This is painful, eh? I think they would cost us t-shirts or something. So she had to transport them from Joburg to Queenstown. And first they took us to one of the empty carriages, right? And then they put her in this room. I think they were interrogating her there. But I was not aware what was going on, you know. And then for a while, if you can count the distance from Vereeniging to Bloemfontein, that was the interrogation happening. And then we jumped off in Bloemfontein, and they took us to some of the offices in Bloemfontein. And then in those offices, again, she was separated from me. I think the whole night and the whole day, I only saw her. I would see her bits and pieces, you know, and I would ask what is happening, and she wouldn't say, and you could see she's been crying, and because she was light in complexion, there were bruises of some sort, you know, and then I think that ordeal took 2 days.
Today, we want buying down on Monday. We want buying down on Monday. We want buying down on Monday. We want buy even a box of matches on Monday.
It started with consumer boycott. No, rent boycotts first. Yeah, I think it was rent boycott first. And then after rent boycott, it was consumer boycott. And through consumer boycott, I can tell you now without doubt that people like Pillay, Strauss, they got rich through that scheme, because the message was that we don't buy from whites, we only buy from Indians or Chinese. So Emakuleni, Kotai, yes, we were buying there. And if you want clothes, you don't go to Cuthbert's or Edworks. By then there was Edworks, I don't know what happened to it. Or Edgar's. So Strauss became rich because of that, because people were buying there every time. We buy there for food. I think we used to buy at Sparks. Yeah, Sparks. I think there was this understanding that it's not white, but I think it was white. Either those guys were Greek or Portuguese or something. But I think we were buying there at Sparks, Nakwatai, Nasema Chinese. Those were the areas we would buy from. Even people from the nearest towns, they would know it's Basin. I think that it was destroyed now. It's no longer there, Basin. They would know that Komani, they go to those places. So Yeah, it was a serious. Every citizen of Queenstown then was the police for that, led by the leadership of all forces, UDF and COSAS. If as a young man I see somebody that I know, a Tenga somewhere else, I look shin, then will tell those guys, or I will lead the charge to say, hey, this guy Utenge and I want to saw. Then there were various punishments. There was Imvubu first. I think Imvubu was the first, whereby if you are caught, then back bed, right? And then apparently through the network and the meetings, we realized that we were hitting one of our own too much. Then there was this thing to say, okay, like if you buy tin stuff, rice, anything, then we'll force you to eat that stuff.
On the 17th of November, in the run-up to Christmas, the people of Mlungisi gathered at this church for a report back on a possible decision to relax the boycott.
It was pandemonium, the hall was filled with tear gas, and they were shooting all over. You could hear the shots.
If I would say at 5 o'clock they started shooting people, I would say by 15:15 they were already throughout the location.
Outside the hall, police were driving through the township streets, wildly shooting. People were frantically scattering across the dusty old township.
I mean, spreading all over these corpses. And the message just transcended very quickly. And I was close to home. My close encounter, I was just moving from a corner house running to my home, and only to find out it's locked. Now I had to get cover, and the only cover I could get was to move from my house and go to an opposite house. That's when I think I was shot with pellets, but because I've already explained how we used to do it, all I could hear was pellets showering. But I laid low on the gate, and then nothing hit me, and then I woke up. Instead of getting into that house, I think that's what helped me. When I woke up from the gate, because they shot, and then when the last shots happened, they're still coming. You've got an option to run. So I ran. I didn't go in. Somersaulted all the way to a order. Then I went a order church that day. I think I had a cover there for a while, until it was a little bit darker. Post that day, there was a huge anger in the community, and there was this thing. I think most of the people went on exile based on that. There was this thing of guerrilla, people wanted to be guerrillas and blah blah blah, and the talk towards the funeral, and the people trying to be open. And
during a typical Eastern Cape mass funeral, the funeral party was surrounded by Caspers, and they were watched by the very same people who had killed them.
That's what happened in as far as that period that I can remember.
Obuyele kaya sandwa.